Welcome to Whippin' It Up. My name is Grace Parke, and today we are going to be making pizza sliders. It's a great and easy snack for friends or just small gatherings. You can do, a big batch that will feed several people if you're hosting for something like a game day. Or if you want, just like me, a few friends, it's just the perfect, quick and easy thing to do. And so I'm going to tell you what I like to put on mine. You can add more. You can actually do more than just pepperoni. If you are wanting to do, like a pizza slider, you can make your own, make it personal. And so for other ingredients that I have lined up, I have just your classic Hawaiian rolls. And I bought a pack of 12. And so right now we currently have the first batch going, but I'm going to show you how to make it with the second batch. And then we have some Kerrygold butter. You can use whatever butter you want. This is just the kind that I like and what they had. And so for seasoning, garlic salt. I love anything garlic, and so it just adds a little bit of flavor, and you really don't need any more salt just because you have a little 2-in-1 right here. Some pepper, and then I like to add a little bit of spicy hot honey, but it's completely up to you. You don't have to add that. It's just something that makes it a little bit more like my taste. And then you can use whatever marinara sauce you want. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to begin by slicing the Hawaiian rolls. Let me move a few things off my cutting board real quick just so we can make some room and get started. So personal tip, keep them together. Don't separate them first, just because they'll fall apart, and we don't want that. You're also going to want to use like a serrated edged knife, just because it's perfect for bread, and you're not really gonna have any crumbling on you. I've been there and done that, tried to use a regular knife, and it didn't go so well, and you just kind of want to gently guide the knife through the middle, and kind of like check on it too, because sometimes the knife doesn't go smooth across, and so you want to make sure that everything's even all the way across. Okay, just like that. And then now you can break apart the hats with the bottoms, and it's easier that way. Highly recommend it. Save yourself the trouble and stress when they fall apart later. But so just separating my buns. At this point, you can go ahead and put them on your cooking sheet. I already have mine pre-lined with some foil. You want to use foil just because with the hot honey and the sauce and the cheese, you want to have something protecting it, otherwise it will ruin your pan. So I'm going to go ahead and line them up. And I just like to do 3 rows of 2. It just spaces everything out evenly. If you're doing a bigger batch, you can do still rows of 2. Just go all the way across. Just make sure there's a little bit of room in between. So take the hats off the top. This just keeps it simple and easy. I like to start personally with the cheese. You can do sauce on both sides, but I find that putting sauce on the bottom actually can make it soggy. So I start with cheese. You can start with pepperoni. It really does not matter. And then I'm actually just going to slice the cheese down the middle and across just so it fits that Hawaiian roll shape, because they are small. I mean, they are sliders. So, and then I do about 2 per cheese. So 1 whole slice of mozzarella cheese. We'll actually do 2 sliders. So you can kind of decide how much you need. This 1 whole pack of mozzarella is gonna do 12 sliders, so it goes a long way. And there's no particular way to cut it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't even have to cut it. If you want, you could just like kind of tear it, just because it's gonna get melty anyways in the oven. And while you're doing all of this prep too, go ahead and have your oven preheated just so you don't have to wait. Since we're wanting something quick and easy to feed our guests, I would go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. You can do 375, but just make sure you watch them really well because they do burn super fast. You're going to want to probably cook it for 5 to 8 minutes. Just keep a a good eye on that. Okay, and so we're done with cheese. Moving on to the pepperoni. I like to do probably about 3 to 4 slices per slider. I like extra pepperoni on mine, but it's completely up to you. It's optional. I already have mine plated up, so it's just easy and you don't have to wrestle with the bag, but kind of like Subway style, making our own little sandwiches. It's super fun. This is something, you can do very last minute, pop in the oven, or go ahead and have it pre-made and take to a friend's house. And everyone's gonna love it. They'll be super happy with the turnout. Okay, so now that we have that done, I'm gonna go ahead and put my pepperoni back. And we have our pizza sauce. So I'm using Bertolli marinara, just the traditional kind. It's one of my personal favorites. And I'm actually just going to put a little bit on this knife, just because we're gonna spread on each one, just whatever you like, whatever you prefer. I like mine pretty saucy. All of my friends know I ask for extra sauce on everything. So if you want to, after you finish making these, you can heat up a little bit of this sauce, and you can actually put it in a bowl and plate it up really pretty and have it in the center. That way they can dip theirs too if they want. But this one's really nice because it has some extra seasonings in it. It has some basil, oregano. It just has a very nice flavor that I love. And it's what my mom used, so it reminds me of home. And who doesn't want that, especially when you're in college and don't get home-cooked meals often. Okay, almost done. This is really the only tedious process, is just putting on the sauce. Okay, sorry, that may have not been the most aesthetically pleasing sauce application, but it got the job done. Okay, and so now we're just gonna top off our sliders with their hats. And then this is the fun part, my personal opinion. So you can take your favorite butter. I'm just gonna use the Kerrygold. I'm gonna unwrap it real quick. But if you want, you can actually melt your butter and go ahead and add in those seasonings and just brush them on. But I didn't do that today. So I'm just going to actually kind of slice up my butter. You can just use whatever knife. It really doesn't matter. Honestly, less dishes, the better. So I'm just going to do a few slices of butter. Let me do 3. This might be too much, but okay. And then what we're going to do is actually just kind of slice these up into small pieces, and we're just going to lay them on top. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is very rustic cooking. Definitely not aesthetic by any means, but okay. So yeah, we sliced up way too much, but that's perfectly fine. It's better to have too much than not enough. That's what I always like to say. Okay, so now that we have that done, we're gonna add our seasonings. So I really love the Lawry's garlic salt. It's a really good one. I feel like most people can find this in their local kitchen or, favorite grocery store. Everywhere seems to have it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and salt the tops of those. Sorry, it does get a little bit messy, but that's what cleanup is for. And then we're gonna pepper the tops as well. I love pepper, so sometimes I tend to go a little overboard, but do as little or as much as you please, or you can change up your seasonings. Some other seasonings that I really like to add, basil, oregano, definitely oregano, but we don't have that today. That's a good one. It is in the pizza sauce, so I guess it kind of counts. I'm using the Trader Joe's Spicy Hot Honey. Doesn't have to be Trader Joe's brand. I just so happened to grab it while I was there. But the Mike's Hot Honey is really good. This just adds a little bit of spice and sweetness at the same time. Two of my most favorite things. Just kind of elevates really any meal and, you know, makes it a little bit special. I'm just doing a drizzle over the top. And I know it's a little sticky and messy, but, you know, it's good. And so it makes it all worth it in the end. So what we're going to do now that we're done with the prep, we're actually going to go stick these in the oven, and I'll take out the other batch and show you the results. Okay, and remember we want the oven set at 375 or 350 if you are wanting to let them cook just a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Okay. All right, so let's take out these beauties and see how they're looking. Okay, perfect. Let me grab my hot pad. They are a little warm. I'm going to try to do this with just one hand. Okay. Perfect. Nice golden brown. So I'm going to set these on the oven. Looks like they did really well. I mean, you can do them a little bit more golden brown if you would like. I have before and not intentionally, because sometimes, like I said, they do burn very easily. And luckily we did the foil because they do sometimes tend to stick a little bit with the hot honey. So I'm just kind of like wiggling it up a little bit. But the foil does help because one time I did it without the foil and it was not good. It kind of ruined my cooking sheet. So make sure you definitely do that. But I just love these. They're so good, and you know, appetizers like this, it just gives something, you know, for everyone to snack on while you're talking, watching a show, the game. It's just perfect. You can't go wrong with it. Okay, so I'm just only going to plate up 3. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to plate up 3, and we're going to taste one and see what we think. So here is the final product. Really happy with how they turned out. So let's give our product a taste. And like I said, appetizer, it's a finger food. It's gonna get messy, but super good. Easy, like I said. Love the hot honey. Definitely recommend the hot honey if you're wanting, you know, to elevate it up a little bit. But yeah, highly recommend. This took me probably, I want to say maybe 10 minutes almost or so. So definitely if you're wanting something just to kind of throw together super fast, do this and try it, because I think that you would really like it. And you know, there's other options too. You don't have to do pizza. You can just do whatever your heart desires. Okay, well, thank you for watching.